Welcome to Absolute Drinks with Rico. I'm Rico, and I still have my amazing world-class bartender, Hedda, is with me today as well.
Hey.
We've got a spotlight today on Absolut Raspberry, one of the most popular flavors in the UK, first launched to the global market in 2005. So today, we are gonna make 3 drinks as usual. We're gonna be making the Raspberry Blimey, we're gonna be making the Raspberry Cobbler, plus we're gonna end off with our little cocktail challenge. But first up, let's go and make our first drink with inspiration from Brazil, the Raspirosca. You've got the elevated flavor of raspberry with those real fresh raspberries in there. You've got the sublime flavor of Absolut Raspberry. Everything's blended together to give you a very refreshing, raspberry-forward drink. We're gonna be making this drink directly into a rocks glass. This is called a built drink, so there's gonna be no need for any fancy equipment really, no shakers. Everything's gonna be done directly into the glass. As usual, let's start with our cheapest ingredient first. We're gonna take a little bit of sugar syrup. This is a 2-to-1 sugar syrup. If you've forgotten how to make sugar syrup or don't know how to make sugar syrup, go back and look for our sugar syrup video. You'll find out everything you need to do there. We're gonna want 10 ml going directly into the drink. We're gonna be sticking three, I can't even count today, guys. We're gonna stick 6 raspberries in. Depending on where you are in the world, depending on what time of year it is, will really depend on the consistency and the flavor of your raspberry. So just make sure you taste them beforehand. We're gonna take our muddler, which is a professional bartender tool, but don't get scared, guys. If you don't have a muddler at home, just use like a rolling pin, the end of a spoon, anything that you can use which you can smash things up with. And we're gonna smash or muddle those raspberries directly into the sugar syrup. Nice. There we go. And then next up, we're gonna take this little baddie, which is Absolut Raspberry. And you know the magic number by now, guys, number 45. Gonna stick 45 mils directly in. And there we go.
Can I add a pro tip?
Hit me.
Always taste the cocktail before you add ice. Since we're using fresh fruits and don't really know how the flavor will be, maybe I have to use extra citrus to balance the sweetness in it. But I think we need to add some extra citrus in it.
Go for it, Bruce. Show us what you do best.
I think we only would need a splash. There's no need to measure really. Better?
She nailed it.
And now we can add ice.
Hit us with the ice, Bruce. I'm gonna give it a schmuddle. Looking beautiful. Nice. Top that bad boy with a crown. We just top this with a crown now just because it's a crushed ice drink. You want your drinks to look pretty and you want the most ice possible. With a crushed ice drink, sometimes they can look a little bit flat, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So this nice little mound just makes it look good. If you've got guests, make it look pretty. But next up, we're gonna garnish. I almost dropped that raspberry. We're gonna garnish with 3 raspberries. When you do garnish, try and use odd numbers just because it looks that little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Use 1 or 3 of whatever you're using. Never use 5 because that's too much garnish and you can't have too much garnish. And there we go, guys. We're gonna pop those raspberries on. The Raspberry Raspirosca. Let's have a taste, guys. Ladies first.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Such a gentleman.
I know.
Delicious.
Are we good?
Yes. Fresh, cold.
You know what I'm gonna say, guys. That's another porch pounder from Absolut. But like I said earlier, play around with this drink. If it's too sweet, add more sour. If it's too sour, add more sweet. If you don't like raspberries, add strawberries. If you don't like strawberries, add banana. There's no limits to the creativity of you and what you can make with this product. The Raspirosca? I can't even say it anymore, guys.
Raspirosca. Raspirosca.
Can't speak English today, sorry. Raspirosca. The Raspirosca. Okay, guys, so next we're gonna make the Raspberry Blimey. Very similar to the Raspirosca, we've added a little bit of blackcurrant liqueur to this to really deepen the flavor experience, but this adds different layers of complexity, makes it a little bit more richer, a little bit more darker. Now, Blimey's first hit cocktail menus back in 2002. Now, the original Blimey called for vodka, blackberries, blackcurrant liqueur, but today we're gonna make the Raspberry Blimey, which is Absolut Raspberry's take on the Blimey. So let's get into it. But we're gonna go tandem. I'm gonna make one, Hedda's gonna make one. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
Hedda, hit me with some raspberries, please.
Here you go.
Can I get 4? Thank you. I'm also gonna add some sugar syrup right now, like 2 dashes of sugar syrup. So we're gonna say around about 10 ml. Gonna get my muddler, go straight in. Beautiful. Next up, we're gonna get around about another dash of black currant liqueur. You'll find this on the store shelves under the name crème de cassis, very French. So we want 10 ml, going straight in. And then next up, we're gonna take our lime juice. Again, we want a little dash of this going in. I'm not gonna measure this out. I'm just gonna give it a little dash. Next up, the baddie herself. We're gonna stick some Absolut Raspberry in there. You know the magic number by now, guys. We're gonna stick 45 in. Okay, next we're gonna top this with some ice, and we're gonna get a nice ice crown on there to make it look pretty. We're gonna give it a stir to make sure all the drinks incorporated. This also gives us a nice wash line, which means when we add more ice to crown it, it's not gonna flood out everywhere over the seams.
Now we top it up with a crown of crushed ice. Ice keeps ice cold, so the drink will last longer without getting diluted.
But the last thing we're gonna do is garnish this with a couple of raspberries. I'm gonna use just one raspberry for this one, just to make it look a little bit different. And then, got some sustainable straws. I'm gonna pop that right in. Okay, let's have a little taste. Extremely good. Very similar to the Raspirioska, just a little bit more elegant. What do you say?
Yeah, I really love this one.
I'm really happy with this.
Me too.
Nice, Bruce. Let's get on to the third and final drink. The Absolut Raspberry Cobbler. For this, we're gonna need a couple of bits of fresh fruit chopped up. We need about 3 orange wedges per drink.
Yeah.
And we're gonna need about 2 lime wedges per drink, if that's okay. If you do not know what a cobbler is a shaken drink, usually served in a highball or in like a goblet glass with straws, decorated with the fruit that's within inside, served over crushed ice. It's usually like a wine or fortified wine based, but you can make it spirit based, and it's always sweetened with a little bit of sugar. And it's a shaken and muddled drink, so we're gonna have double techniques going on in this drink today. We're gonna take our small end of the shaker. We're gonna have 2 wedges of lime and 3 wedges of orange. And then we're gonna add a nice little simple syrup. And we're gonna want a couple of dashes. So we're gonna go with 10 ml of sugar syrup again, and we're gonna go straight in. Next, we're gonna do some muddling and real pound in. We've got some citrus fruit in here, so we wanna break apart all the fruit, but we also wanna release as much of the oils as we can.
And we also want to blend it with the simple syrup that we already poured in.
Nice. It should look a little something like this. Just pulp and mush. Next, we're gonna add some soft fruits in the form of raspberries. When you actually add in soft fruits like raspberries into a drink and you're gonna shake them, there's no real need to muddle them because you're gonna throw a lot of ice in here, you're gonna shake the hell out of it, and then they're gonna muddle naturally. So just throw your raspberries, bam, bam, right into your shaker. Next up, 45 ml, you know the magic number of Absolut Raspberry. And then this is it. The drink's pretty much almost made. What we're gonna do now is shake the hell out of it. And you know what I tell you guys, shake it like you hate it. Hedda, could you fill me up with some ice? Thank you. And remember, you wanna get the small part of your shaker filled with as much ice as possible. We're gonna slam down the top and we're gonna shake it like we hate it. Let's do this. Nice. Oh, God damn
You need
it.
help?
So as you can see, very heavily shaken. Shake it hard again because you've got that citrus fruit in there. So next, we want to take our glass. Can you ice me a little bit?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go for the crushed ice.
Crushed ice.
Thank you. Thank you. So these cobblers are very rustic, so we're not going to fine strain. We're pouring it over crushed ice, so we're not really bothered if any of the ice in here gets into the drink. And also, we're not really bothered if any of the fruit gets into the drink. It just makes for a more rustic and delicious drinking experience.
It looks delicious. Look at this color.
That looks absolutely fantastic, actually. Okay, so I'm gonna give mine a little schmuddle, just to stir everything up. And then we're gonna top it up with that nice crushed ice dome crown? Ice crown. I like ice crown. Ice crown. To garnish a drink like a cobbler, I'm gonna do a little bit of an orange slice. I'm gonna do a little bit of a lemon slice. One of the reasons why you usually garnish with the fruit that's in the drink is just so that it makes sense. I wouldn't garnish a drink with banana unless it's got banana in, because that's just weird. The only exception to the rule is like mint sprigs. A mint sprig lives on any drink. It just makes it look a little bit fancy.
And also it enhances the flavors in the drink even more.
Okay, so all I'm gonna do is just gonna stick my little wedges in there. I'm gonna stick a little raspberry as well, just so the people know. I'm gonna take this nice little long silver straw and pop it in.
And also we want to keep the fruits or the garnish next to the straw, because that's where you have your nose when you're taking the sip. And that will also like enhance the flavors even more.
Because 80% of your nose is taste. Remember that, guys. Okay, I wanna taste yours.
Sure.
Like, I cannot stress enough, when you use fresh fruit, it makes the world a difference. Just go get a couple of oranges rather than buy some orange juice, it's fine. But when you're making drinks like this, they get elevated so much with the addition of fresh fruit. This is just fresh fruit and vodka. There's no mixer in there, there's no lengthener, it's just the pure fresh fruit.
The raspberry works very, very well together with the citrus fruits, oranges and limes.
And it really tastes like one. Obviously you can pick apart that it's got fresh orange and fresh raspberry, but this really starts to come together and taste like cobbler. And while we're there, before we move on to the next part of this episode, don't forget, click subscribe, put your comments in the comments, and put your requests for any drinks you'd like to see in next season in the comments, guys. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. But it's time to move on. Should we do the click to get away?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you did it right. I'm so happy. Okay, we now have the mystery basket challenge. Basically the rules are we're gonna get a nice big basket which contains not only tools and ingredients, and we're gonna try and create a drink for you on the spot. And not forgetting the all-important star, Absolut Raspberry Vodka. So other than that, we don't know what we're gonna do.
No.
Should we get the mystery box on?
Yeah, sure.
Well done. So here we've got it. Okay, let's find out what's in.
Rosemary, basil, I think it's honey.
That stays in.
We have honey. Sour cream.
Got some lavender. Ooh. I'm not too sure what that is. Oh yeah, I am. Oh, I hate licorice.
We have a lemon.
Peaches. But we're gonna get this out the way right now. Okay.
I'm thinking about making a highball cocktail, fresh with a lot of herbs from the tea and the tonic together. What's yours plan?
A creamy raspberry, strawberry, vanilla milkshakes type drink with a peach cinnamon creamy foam on top. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Me too.
So you, Hedda, I'm gonna let you take center stage.
Sure.
Show them what you got.
I'm gonna make like a Collins type of cocktail. So I'm gonna start with the cheapest ingredients first. I'm gonna start with the lemon, and since I don't have a citrus elbow, I need to squeeze it myself. You have about 30 mils. Since I don't have a shaker or stirring glass, I have this equipment that I'm gonna make my cocktail in. And I'm gonna make a blend out of honey and the tonic syrup. So about 10 ml each. And I'm also gonna add my tea, but just a tiny bit, half a tablespoon. This is a fruity tea, so it will give some fruity herbal tones to the cocktail. And the most important ingredients, I'm gonna add 45 mils of Absolut Raspberry. I need ice, but I need to chop it in smaller pieces to fit my stirring glass. Okay, I really want this to work, so I'm gonna cut this in smaller pieces. Perfect. Okay. This is really, really good ice that we're using. It's very clear and very hard, so we can stir this cocktail for a pretty long time, I would say. And in this type of stirring glass, it's actually built in like a strainer in here. I can just pour it out like this. Yay! So I'm gonna top it off with like just a splash of soda water, like 30 mils. And top with an ice cube. Garnish it with a beautiful lemon wedge. Oh, this is actually good.
Actually really super nice. The honey and the tonic syrup like balance really nice. A nice little bit of that like tannins and earthiness from that black tea. Laced with raspberry flavor. That's not bad for you, Bruce. I'm gonna show you how to make a drink now.
Show me how to make a drink.
I'm kind of nervous about this, guys. So, let's make this creamy weird cocktail then. I'm gonna start with my mixing glass. We're gonna take the strawberries first. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna break them into here. Then we're gonna use the end of this to just muddle them up and break them down while trying not to impale myself. Okay, so there we have some strawberries. I'm gonna season these strawberries with a little bit of cinnamon, just to give it some oomph. And then next up, I'm gonna add the vanilla ice cream, because we're gonna be making a creamy cocktail here. And this is gonna be the base of my drink, together with Absolut Raspberry, Absolut Raspberry, Absolut Raspberry. And we're gonna stick roughly the magic number, 45 mils straight in. Then we're gonna give this a little stir. I don't really need that much ice because the ice cream's already cold. And that's basically my drink, but I'm gonna leave it to one side and I'm actually gonna chill it with a piece of ice. We're gonna leave that to one side and forget about it. So next I wanna make like a foam to go on top of this. So we're gonna make a creamy foam and we're gonna use sour cream. I hope this works, I've never done this before, guys. And I wanna sweeten this, but because Hedda took the honey, I only have one sweetener left. I'm going to use the syrup from the tinned peaches, because I don't have sugar syrup, and pour that straight in. And then we're gonna add the top, like so. Give this a little shake. Let's get everything together. And then, I've got 1 cup. But I don't want all the bits of strawberry in my drink, so I'm actually gonna fine strain this into my little cup, my little paper cup. Got these chopsticks, just gonna, make sure we don't add any of that pulp in the drink. And then hopefully if this works, I'm gonna have a sour cream peach foam on top. And that didn't work, so we've just got this going on right now, which I'm still kind of happy with. And then I'm just gonna do that. And that, guys, is a house party gone wrong. The creativity was there. The execution, however, was not there in the slightest. Hedda, let me give it a stir.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Please try my cream fizz.
I mean, it was much better than I thought.
What do you mean much better than you thought?
We picked some really weird ingredients.
We had some really weird ingredients to pick from.
Very true.
It tastes like fizzy cream, and that's about it. Let me taste it after
like like a yogurt or something.
It tastes like yogurt.
Yeah.
It tastes exactly like yogurt, which is great if you like to drink yogurt. Otherwise, it's yogurt. Maybe if we had a few more.
I think we could fix it by like blending it with some more syrup maybe to like enhance the flavors in it, like the fruits. And we also want like a thicker consistency in it, like blend it with ice.
We want a better foam as well. If you're going to try and get a better foam, try to use like some stabilizer like agar-agar. That's really going to help solidify the foam and keep it tight like a tiger.
Agar-agar.
Agar-agar. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this raspberry episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe down at the bottom. Add your comments there and any drinks that you would like to see in future episodes. And just start taking some photos of the drinks that you're making at home. And don't forget to tag them at Absolut Vodka and hashtag at Absolut Drinks for your chance to be featured on absolutdrinks.com. Guys, and I'm sick of
and it's still good.
This isn't. Fizzy cream is not the choice. Oh.